he'll be armed and dangerous tonight. Canada's best, ready to take on the world.
It was in this building 31 years ago that Oshawa, Ontario's Donald Jackson became the first Canadian to win gold in men's figure skating. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to CBC's continuing coverage of the 1993 World Championships. Don Jackson started it right here in '62. It was Don McPherson winning in '63 at Cortina, Italy. A long drought until Brian Orser won in '87 at Cincinnati. Kurt Browning winning in 1989 at Paris, of course, 90 at home at Halifax, and 91 at Munich. Browning tonight trying to win the World Championship for a fourth time, trying to do it after a tough '92. Remember, he missed the medal podium with injuries at Albertville and was second in Oakland. A bonus for you tonight. Lloyd Eisler and Isabelle Brasseur will join us and take us through last night's World Championship program. A big night, and right now, let's join Chris Guthrie.
Thanks, Brian. Good evening, everybody. Should be a great night as Kurt Browning skates for gold, and don't discount Elvis Stojko's chances for a medal either. But first, the original dance. No real surprises after the compulsories. Zsova Zulin are the leaders. Gricchuk Platov are second. The real battle is for the bronze medal, and a battle between the two premier coaches in ice dancing. And with their thoughts on those two stories, here are Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini.
Well, Chris, the battle for the bronze is between two teams with two very different styles, as you will see. The Finnish team of Susanna Rakamo and Petri Koko are trying to win their country's first ever medal in ice dance history. But close on their heels is a Russian team, relatively new on the scene, who are trying to complete a Russian sweep of this event for the second year in a row. And Paul, Russian dominance in ice dance has never been more evident.
Well, Barbara, the 29 teams entered here in the ice dance competition, 9 of them are from the former Soviet Union. And of those 9, 8 take from one of two very special ladies, Natalia Dubova and Natalia Linenchuk. These two women are certainly the most creative influences in ice dancing today, as Dubova is here with 3 teams, Linenchuk here with 5, and creativity is what ice dance is all about. But our own Canadians have a style and character all their own, so let's go to the ice to see their version of the original dance, the Viennese Waltz.
Next couple, 15th after the 2 compulsory dances, and with the Canadian team cheering them on, here are Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz, our young national champions.
Well, the dancers had a day off between the compulsory dances and this original dance. And on that day off, Victor and Shaylin watched Kurt Browning win the men's technical, and then they watched their fellow training mates, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, win gold. So they certainly have to be pumped going out here for this original dance performance.
for Victor and Shaylin.
Well, there's no doubt that many in the skating community felt that this team was underjudged, sitting in 15th place going into this original dance. And I think what's important for them is to do what they've just done, continue to go out there, skate well. Many feel that they've made an excellent first impression, and they have to continue to make that impression here.
And where they're really going to make their impression is in the free dance.
First set of marks are for required elements, 4.5s up to a 4.9 from the German judge. Before they're relaxed out on the ice, he looked up during the waltz and gave teammates here just to our side a big wink, or maybe that was for Mom because she's got the video camera here recording the moments. The second set of marks up to a 5.1, so the German judge certainly enjoyed their work. Gordon Kratz of Canada here in the original dance. And with more on the Viennese waltz.
Congratulate the Canadian team, Shaylin Bourne, 17 years of age, Victor Kratz on a strong Viennese waltz. Victor, let me start with you. It requires a lilt and a lean, tremendous softness in the knees, but at the same time, great strength. How do you train for that?
I think we have acquired over a certain period of time. The basic training is like every other skater, except that before we go into the ice, we do lots of off-ice training as far as unison, bending knees, side-to-side lean, and that's what comes in handy when we skate the waltz.
Are the knees what take the pounding?
Yes, to a certain degree, but we try to make it much, much softer so there's no jolts, and that's what the knees are there for.
Well, it was very soft. You are 17 years of age. How did you get this chemistry?
Well, ever since the first day, it really clicked, and since then, within the 2 years, we've built this good relationship between the two of us, off the ice and on the ice, so it's really helped.
So the off-ice relationship contributes to a strong performance here?
Yeah, I think when you have a good relationship, when you're on the ice and off the ice, it really helps. Like, we connect better, and the audience reacts nice to it. So.
Well, you've connected tonight with the judges and the audience. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz. Lots more to come as we go back upstairs to Chris Cuthbert. Chris?
Thank you, Brian. Now let's move to the medal contenders. Susanna Rakamo, Petri Koko, the bronze medalist at the European Championships representing Finland. They were third in the Westminster Waltz, fourth in the Argentine Tango, so they are actually tied for third coming into this original dance.
Well, Susanna and Petri really will have to make an impression here because it's very likely that the dominant team will emerge from this portion of the competition.
However, as I watched this program, I felt like it charged around the ice surface. So if they didn't want to dance ballroom floor, charged around the ballroom floor. I didn't get the feeling that they really waltzed out there. I felt like they were so busy trying to push, trying to cover ice, that aspect was missing to a degree.
Well, also I noticed they didn't quite capture that waltz feel. To capture that, you really need that closed waltz position throughout the dance. They really didn't use that position very often at all.
And based on the piece we saw from Jean, they also separated a few times. We'll have their marks when we return to Prague. We're back in Prague, and the first set of marks for composition for Zuzana Rakamo and Petri Koko, 5.4 from the Hungarian judge, up to 5.7 from the judge from Poland. Martin Skotnicki, their coach. And now the presentation marks, and they're higher up to a 5.8 from the judge from the Czech Republic, the first place ordinals of all 9 judges so far, but it will be very interesting because the next skaters to come out are Angelika Krylova and Vladimir Fedorov, the skaters they're battling for the bronze medal with. So it's really a nice opportunity for the judges to compare them back to back. Good. So they seem happy, but this will be the test now as Krylova and Fedorov of Russia come out. They were 4th in the first CD and 3rd in the second, so they are tied for 3rd place now, coming into this original dance.
I think it's important to note at this point that every one of these waltzes that you're going to see, the music was written by Johann Strauss, and as he was called the Waltz King because of the fact he composed more than 150 waltzes.
Well, I'm already getting a better waltz feel from this team. It just seems a little more graceful, seems to float a little bit better across the ice than that of Rakamo Koko.
Koko, this couple had good speed and good flow, but I didn't sense that this team had to work at it as hard as Rakamo Koko appeared to have to work at it.
Yeah, it just had the feeling of easiness out there. Everything flowed very nicely, and it just seemed to float across the ice as opposed to skate.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with their knee action. I thought this was much better use of their knees to give you that feeling of it just flowing
and
across
also
the ice.
the quality of the edges. As they skate past us, you can usually hear the edges, but this team was very quiet.
Natalia Linacek congratulating Angelika Krylova and Vladimir Fedorov in the first set of marks, 5.4 up to 5.7, so this is going to be very close as we anticipated. Ludmila Vlasova is the choreographer in the fur coat. Gennady Karponosov, who was a partner of Natalia Linacek's and world champion twice in 78 and 79. The second set of marks, and there are ordinals that will send them into third place. They have 6 first-place ordinals, 3 seconds, so they have moved ahead of Rakamo Koko, and for the time being are the leaders with their Russian teammates, Usova Zul and Grichuk Platov, still to come. Urmanov's coach about that. We'll have more when Urmanov skates later, but suffice to say, Usova and Zulin certainly have thrived on their opportunity to train in Lake Placid, and they are the leaders after the compulsory dances.
This team is the epitome of grace and elegance, and if I can picture any team dancing in a grand ballroom, this is the team. Sometimes I just forget that this team is actually skating. They just float across the ice with such ease. They're just incredible to watch.
Well, I think that performance is going to hold them in good stead. I don't see them being pushed out of their current first-place position. You have to remember that this is, like the technical program for the singles and pairs, a setup event. The 2 compulsory dances being worth 10% each. This is worth 30% of the final score, and the free dance worth 50%.
Never takes long for the judges to handle Usova Zulin's marking. There the marks come up 5.6 from the American judge, up to 5 9s from Poland, Russia, and Ukraine. So it looks like they're one step closer to their first World Championship. Presentation marks are even higher. 5 9s from Finland, Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic, Russia, the United States, and Ukraine. First place ordinals from all 9 judges for the leaders Usova Zulin, Grichuk Platov are next when we return. In second place after the compulsory dances, Jenny Platov and Oksana Grichuk of Russia. Barb, we chatted with them prior to the competition. They said they do a lot of their practicing in a ballroom, and it should come in to good stead here.
Well, day after day in an arena, I'm sure it's difficult to bring out the ballroom feel. So any opportunity I would think that they would have to get into a ballroom would be very helpful. really the flow through all the very difficult transitions. That's one thing that this team does extremely well.
Well, Barb, as I watch this performance and the performances of the other two Russian teams, what they all do very, very well is carry enormous amounts of speed across the ice. They do it effortlessly, and I think that's the one basic reason why what's setting up to possibly be a sweep of this ice dance competition.
I thought this dance had a very regal feel, a majestic feel almost.
And we'll be back with the marks for Gricchuk Platov in Prague after this. Marks for Oksana Gricchuk and Evgeny Platov of Russia, the bronze medalists a year ago at the World Championships in Oakland. 5 sevens, a 5-6 from Germany, and a 5-5 from Finland. So it would appear that they're on their way to staying in second place. I think we tend to forget that this couple really has only been together for just 4 years, but they've had great success. The presentation marks, some interesting ordinals here. 5 second-place marks, but also 2 thirds from Hungary and Germany, and 2 fourths from Poland and the Czech Republic for Gricchuk and Platov. So after the original dance, Usova Zulin still the leaders. Gricchuk Platov are second. Krylova Fedorov move into third place, giving Russia another potential sweep of the World Dance Competition. Susanna Rakamo and Petri Koko of Finland are now in fourth place. Canadian Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz remain 15th. Now let's join Brian Williams with the new World Pairs Champion.
All right, thank you, Chris. Kurt Browning still to go for gold tonight, his 4th World Championship. Of course, his first was back in Paris in 1989. Now, Browning is trying to come back after a very tough 1992. He'll be the story for Canada at these World Championships should he do it. The other big story, of course, happened last night. Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler, bronze in Oakland, bronze in Albertville. Repeating history what the Jelinex did here in 1962 with a great performance to win gold. I'm wondering, you look so fresh. Did you get any sleep last night?
A little bit. We got to bed early this morning, so we missed half the day today.
How many interviews have you done back home?
Maybe 2 dozen. Enough to keep me busy for the day, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to keep you busy for the next 4 or 5 minutes. What we want to do, and hold the videotape for just a minute, as a treat for the viewers back home. When you came to Sports Weekend a couple of months ago, you told me how you changed, you were more relaxed, the program was more artistic. I'm going to be quiet, let you people do the talking. Let's roll your program from last night, and you take us through it, all right? Okay, here we go from last night.
Starting from the beginning of the program here, the program starts out slow, which is right away a change from last year's program of going 900 miles an hour right from the opening note. Coming up is a very sort of innovative spin where it's camel spin that goes right into a pair spin.
I think it's really good that the program this year is starting slow because I was a bit nervous when I came on the ice, but just with the music, you know, it just got in my knees and I just tried to follow the music, and we went really softly and we got into the program really quickly.
Coming up now is what everyone calls is our infamous jump, I guess, our side-by-side double axels, and we nailed them really quite nicely here.
From there, we kind of knew that the program was going to be a good one. For sure, we had still the 2 throws to go and like a lot of jumps and lifts, but when it starts really good like that, it starts really good.
Our program is a completely different style this year. We've worked on line and the total look of the pair. Our first throw, a throw triple sow. The scale of 1 to 10, that's usually about an 8. It wasn't perfect, but it also wasn't, you know, a big major mistake in the program. I think one of the big things about our program this year is it's such a well-packaged program that we like to skate clean, but if you don't skate perfect, then we still have what we consider a good program, and I think that gives us the marks that we've sort of been looking for in the past.
Now it's the beginning of the slow part, and there it's just kind of a relaxed part that we just can look at each other and smile at each other and try to encourage each other to get through the program. Especially here.
Yeah, this is where we've made the most changes, the sort of good line, the softness, where both of us are a little bit more at ease with our own personalities, and really we're letting the other person sort of lead, especially in my case. Isabella's sort of taking control of the program, and I'm just going along for the ride at this point.
That's the forward outside the spiral that it hasn't been done in competition since the proto pop-ups. It has been a while.
I think one of the good things about our program is we still do all the very difficult tricks. We had a triple lateral twist at the beginning of the program. We're the only team in the world to do it. Now is a split triple twist. It's on different music, and the line, the going in and the coming out are much, much better.
Coming up is the triple toe, which we did really good, and from there we knew that it was going to be a good program, but still we still had to concentrate because we still had 2 more jumps to go and a few lifts, so we had to think about what we were doing.
At this point in the program, I was really, really biting hard on my lip just to keep the calmness that is what is important throughout our entire program, because I knew when Isabelle landed the throw triple toe that we were going to skate clean right to the end of the program, but to keep the sort of the attitude of the program and the feeling in the movements of the program was really difficult at this point for me, because I just wanted to start screaming and smiling, but that's not the program style.
Part starting, and when you know that you're skating pretty good up to there, it's really easy to get through the last part.
This lift coming up is a reverse back overhead, which we're the only team in the world that does it right now. It was done by Donald Gilchrist back in the 60s, but it has been a long time. I think we didn't give up any of our technical skills in order to come up with the new style. What we did was just put the two together, both the athleticism and the artistry. This is our last jump combination, double flip into a step double toe. At this point, I knew we had a great chance at winning a gold medal. It wasn't, it definitely wasn't that it was in the bag or anything, but it's, you know, I was really happy with the performance.
Keep going, Lloyd. Well, yeah, me too. After the jumps, it was really good, and we knew that we were proud of each other.
Lloyd Eisler Sr., your mother is here, Isabella. Do you notice the Canadian fans, the flags, the cheering when you're out there?
Yes, we did, and it was really hard, especially at the end of the solo, to concentrate because everybody was there and cheering so loud for us, and all the skaters and the coaches, and we could see them jump already before we finished our skating. But we had to keep going and just concentrate. But it's great that they're here.
All right, I know you have many obligations. It's one thing to say you're going to change, you're going to relax, you're going to calm down. It's another thing to do it. How did you achieve it this year? I mean, the program is still basically the same. You two are different.
I think the biggest help, Isabelle and my coaches have really made me realize that I didn't need to be so aggressive and so overbearing to do what I had to do and to get the job done. I always used to think that if you didn't put in 150% effort, then you weren't doing the job. And now I can put in 75 or 80% of the strength that it requires and still get the job done and manage well. And Isabelle's been there behind me to make me realize that I was doing the right thing, because sometimes I felt stupid doing it, and she was there to say, no, it looks really good and you're doing the right thing and it's helping us. So I think it's a big credit to them.
Well, I know I speak for Canadians from coast to coast tonight. History repeated itself. Congratulations, a world championship. I know you're going to skate in Lillehammer. Well done, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. Still to come, Kurt Browning. Let's go back to you, Chris Cuthbert.
Thanks, Brian. From two new world champions to a trio of Canadian greats, 62 world champion Donald Jackson keeping Elvis and Kurt loose. More from Prague after this.